Hi everyone, it's a ticket to Christ. We're talking about understanding spiritual boundaries. We're looking at faith. We're in Mark chapter, 9 from verse 14. It says, "And when he came to his disciples, he saw a great multitude about them and the scribes questioning with them. And straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were greatly amazed, and running to him saluted him. And he asked the scribes, What question ye with them? And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth, and gnasheth with his teeth, and pineth away. And I spake to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. He answered him and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me. And they brought him unto him, and when he saw him, straightway the spirit tare him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming. And he asked his father, How long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, Of a child. And oft times it hath cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on him. And Jesus said unto him, If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. And we're going to pause there. You can read the rest on your own. Of course, Jesus was able to help this child, save this child. But what is jumping out at you here from all of this about spiritual boundaries and understanding them? For me, what I'm getting from this is the spiritual block that faithlessness can bring in a person's life. That, notice in verse 18, it says that the man told Jesus, I spake to thy disciples that they should cast him out, which is this demon, and they could not. So Jesus's disciples, maybe some of the apostles that were there, because it was Peter, James, and John who went with Jesus to the Mount of Transfiguration. This is right after that when he came down. So the rest of them were down there and they couldn't do it because of their lack of faith. And so we see faithlessness is a hindrance, right? It's a hindrance. That is a boundary that God does not need for us to have, right? He doesn't want us to have it, and we shouldn't have it, because Jesus said in verse 23, If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. All things. Everything is possible with God. And so that's why you see a lot of times when Jesus healed people, he said, Your faith has made thee well, go in peace. That it was according to their faith. It wasn't according to their righteousness. It was according to their faith in him, that they believed that he could do it, right? And so a lot of times, though, we come to God thinking it's in accordance to our own righteousness, that he's going to grant this and such, thus and so. But no, it's according to your faith in him, right? Abraham believed God and it was credited to him as righteousness. So your faith is righteousness in the eyes of God, your faith in Jesus Christ, right? And if you can believe, all things are possible. And when you read the Gospels, you see sometimes it's the faith of the person getting the healing, and sometimes it's the faith of those bringing the person to get the healing, like their loved ones, like, even the centurion came not even on behalf of a loved one, but on behalf of his servant. So it's not always even your loved ones. Sometimes it's just their friends, right? And then you have those who come to Jesus directly. So your faith also can have a big impact on the outcome of the life of someone. And Jesus says, if you believe, all things are possible. It doesn't. So this is to say, if you're going through any kind of a health situation, pursue faith. Pursue it like pure gold. That is what you need to be running after. And how do you do that? You're going to be looking at every scripture that's going to be talking about healing, right? Because faithlessness is a hindrance. It's a spiritual boundary line that can stifle healing in a person's life. And another thing, if there's turmoil in your family, maybe people who are not doing well, their lives are derailing, and you want to get help for them, but you're not seeing the way, pursue faith. Because with God, all things are possible to him that believeth. Because with God, there is no life, right? Where there's life, there's hope with God. Where there's life, there's hope with God. And so if you run after anything, you're going to run after faith, hope, love, right? Faith has got to be one of those things that you're pursuing, because faithlessness is a spiritual hindrance and puts up a boundary line, puts up a boulder that can stifle healing, and it can stifle victory in your life and in the lives of your loved ones. So that is what I wanted to focus on today, beloved. I hope this is giving you some food for thought as I'm thinking about it, or bless you in some small way. Have a great day.